Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am Omar Stennett. Again, we're extremely delighted that you have joined us for one more episode. Wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night to you. Hope you had a tremendous weekend and this week will be a great week for you. Again, let me just say a big thank you to all our subscribers. We are making progress. We are presently at 555 subscribers at the point of this video, and that's a great thing given how we started, when we started, and where we started. The work continues and we are looking forward to your continued support. This is one more episode of our Friday Big Bangers. We release these videos every Friday at 12:30. You don't want to miss the premiere, and so tune in. You can check us out on Irie Times TV, and you can also watch the videos on our YouTube platform. Good sporting content. We continue to give you good quality content. So we want to discuss some NBA basketball, some local football, in particular the Reggae boys, West Indies cricket, and some track and field. So let us dive right into the NBA. By this you will know that the Atlanta Hawks surprised the Philadelphia 76ers and they advanced to the finals of the Eastern Conference. And let me just speak to Philadelphia. I think this Philadelphia team needs to be broken up. This is Doc Rivers' first year. If it was his second year, I'd ask for him to be fired. But this is his first year because he must take a lot of responsibility for the state of play of the Philadelphia 76ers. You watch that series and Doc Rivers was out coach. For a man who has been in the NBA for so long, he should not have been this out coach. One with the Boston Celtics, you should not have been this out coach, Doc Rivers. And you bear a major part in terms of responsibility for the Philadelphia 76ers being eliminated. The players, Ben Simmons needs to be traded. And they need to build their own Joel Embiid and get some good pieces. He needs to be run out of Philadelphia. You cannot be a shooting guard or a point guard and can't take free throws. You only can score by driving to the basket. That works for the regular season, but when the playoffs comes along, Ben Simmons, you have to do more. So he's gone. But at the same time, let us commend the Atlanta Hawks. I am surprised. I'm surprised that they knocked out my Knicks. But now I know that this team is no fluke. Trae Young and Jason Collins and Clint Capella, Danilo Gallinari and Lou Williams coming off the bench. Hector. I mean, they have a very good team and they're very good shooters. And they play competent defense. And Trae Young is a very tricky player to guard because of his ability to drive and pull up as well and shoot the long ball, what you call the three-pointer from way beyond the three-point circle. And so they have advanced, surprising many, including me. But kudos to them. Nate McMillan did a very good job in terms of coaching them. And if they were meeting the Brooklyn Nets in the conference finals, then wow, I would easily go with the Brooklyn Nets. But I think it's going to be a very competitive series because in the other semifinal, can you believe this? The Milwaukee Bucks upset the Brooklyn Nets. Wow. The final game, game 7, was a game. It went over into overtime, and you can see Kevin Durant was busted. He was gutted. He used up every ounce of energy and strength he had. James Harden as well was having a hard time. Playing on one leg, it was a very difficult proposition for him. He wasn't able to perform as how we normally. James Harden, tried his best, hobbling. He was on one leg, and so that was very difficult for him. And so he was hampered by that, and that affected the total play of the Brooklyn Nets. And as you know, Kyrie Irving was out and Jeff Green kind of came back. But kudos to the Milwaukee Bucks. The Giannis played well throughout the series, though he had some free throw issues. Middleton came along, but Drew Holiday kind of held things together, and Brook Lopez. Very good. So I think the conference finals are going to be very competitive because there are two, I think, evenly matched team in terms of the Milwaukee Bucks and the Atlanta Hawks. And so if I were to pick, of course, I'd pick the Brooklyn Nets coming out of the East and the Utah Jazz coming out of the West. Now, all of that has just changed. And so I am sure did not get it right. Can you believe that? I am sure got it wrong. These things don't normally happen. So when it happens, I'm just as surprised as you are, don't it? And so the pick coming out of the East, I am going to have to give it to the Milwaukee Bucks because I think they look like a more balanced team all around in comparison to the Atlanta Hawks. Over in the Western Conference, the finals just begun, and that is the Utah Jazz. No, the Utah Jazz lost to the LA Clippers. Great comeback by LA to take Game 7. Knocking off the Utah Jazz, and as you know, the Phoenix Suns had defeated Denver and were just sitting and waiting. They had Game 1, so by the time you see this video, they're probably at Game 3. So let me tell you what is happening over in that particular series. The Phoenix Suns, playing without Chris Paul, defeated the LA Clippers playing without Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi has an injury, and Chris Paul is out due to COVID protocols. Should be back for the rest of the series. But this Phoenix team looks like they have what it takes to go all the way. So I am looking forward to them winning this series and meeting the Milwaukee Bucks in the final. Booker is a good player. Over there, Ayton, the center, he's playing some good basketball. Payne is playing well. Crowder playing well. And with the addition of Chris Paul, the floor manager, the floor boss, the floor general, I could see the Phoenix Suns winning this. Though the LA Clippers have a very good team. They had this young player, man, who showed up big time in Game 7. A man hitting 3 after 3. Patrick Beverly had a good Game 7 as well. Reggie Jackson is playing some good basketball. They are very Nicholas Batum, he's also playing well. They have a very deep team. And Tyronn Lue, you have to give him his props. His coaching ability is unique, and I think the LA Clippers are where they are today because of his ability to coach and adjust based on how the game is progressing and the different components of the game throughout a series. And so kudos to the LA Clippers, and I'm looking forward to see just how things are going to pan out on the Western Conference and in the Eastern Conference. But I'm picking the Milwaukee Bucks to meet the Phoenix Suns, and if that happens, I'm picking the Phoenix Suns to go all the way. And so that was our basketball recap and our preview of the NBA, what to look forward to. And now I want to discuss some local football with you. Hope you have heard what is going on. So this week, This weekend is the beginning of the JPL, and one of the games that is the Jamaica Premier League, the new format, the new multi-million-dollar sponsored Jamaica Premier League that everybody has been waiting for after so many years, just so many months, sorry, waiting without any football being played. And one of the games I want to speak to that is going to be played this weekend is the Humble Lion versus Cavaliers. As you know, recently we have Rudolph Speed. We had Rudolph Speed on our program speaking about the preparation of Cavaliers. I know they played even Mount Pleasant in a practice game and they won that, and I heard that they were very, very convincing. They have a very young crop of players, and I think because they have been in preparation longer than most of the teams and they have younger players who get fitter, faster than older players, and the Humble Lion team is known to be one of the teams that have older players like your Rene Lloyd, you know, Andre McLennan. Older players are here that we have our Javon Watson could be there as well. Ricardo Dennis, who was at Mount Pleasant, he could be there as well. So with all of these older players at Humble Lion, they could struggle to come into fitness at the beginning of the competition, which gives like the early stages give Cavaliers the edge. So I'm looking forward to a Cavaliers victory, but more so I'm just looking forward to seeing local football being played. Yeah, and that's going to be good. The Jamaica, the JFF, the Jamaica Football Federation, they have also just released their 60-man provisional squad. They did that, and that is going to be cut down to 23 players. That's the squad for the Gold Cup, and I think they begin a camp on the 3rd of July, and the 23-man squad will be named before that. All right, so what I'm going to do for you is that in the description, I'm going to list my 23 players. And here's what I want you to do. In the comment section, who would be your 23? All right, who would be your 23? I can give you some players just to let you know where my thinking is at. All right, and this is given that all the players, those who plied their trade in England, or if you prefer to say those born in England, there are some players who I believe will be a must, and then we'll have to add to these players. Once they're available, Andre Blake is a definite. So I'm going to give you 11 to help you to make your list, and then you can see my full list in the description. Andre Blake is a must. Ethan Pinnock is a must. Liam Moore is a must. That's 3. Leon Bailey is a must. That's 4. KemarLawrence is a must. That's 5. Damion Lowe is a must. That's 6. Andre Mariappa is a must. That is 7. So right there we have 7 players that are must. Bobby Reid is a must once available. That's 8. Andre Gray is a must once available. That's 9. Michail Antionio is a must once available. That's 10. And we understand that there's a player whose passport is in the process. His name is Kevin Stewart, who I believe will be a must as a holding midfielder. So that's 11. So you can use that as a basis for forming your 23-man squad. And let's see at the end of everything if you got it right or if I got it right. I can't give you my whole list because then you know too much. Yeah, so you pick your 23. Let's see, and let's match them up closer to the selection of the squad and see what it is like, right? But my expectation is that if Coach Whitmore has his best players are the players that he wants for this tournament, then I could see Jamaica going to the finals and possibly winning the final. Of course, we have also added Paul Hall as an assistant coach, and many people are thinking that that means that Jerome Waite will not be a part of the coaching staff, but as far as I understand, he will still be a part of it. Paul Hall is going to be a second assistant. I don't know if that he is below Jerome Wade, or they're at the same level. I don't know, but I think it's a good thing to do because I think he will help with the relationship with the English bass players and the local bass players. I could see tremendous benefit coming from this. In fact, I'll go as far as to say when it comes on to our junior teams, which is under 20, under 17, I could see Paul Hall working with them along with Dean Burton, for example. And I think that would help us to now tap into the English market earlier than we normally do. So kudos to the JFF because that's a very big move. I think we needed some stability in the area of coaching with the national team. I think Whitmore really needed some help, and you saw that when we played against the Japan under 23 team. I mean, when Coach Whitmore was severely ill from what we understand, and Coach Wade, Jerome Wade, that is, had to fill the gap. And one of the things that Coach Jerome Wade said is that the players weren't listening to him. We want somebody in the program that if the Coach Whitmore for any reason will not be around, that we have somebody who commands the respect of all the players, those locally and those who are in England plying their trade. So I think the addition of Paul Hall is a very good addition. How the JFF will afford that, I don't know, and maybe they have something all planned out. But I think as an extension of his work here in Jamaica, it would be good to have him and probably a couple of other players, former players out of England, working with our junior teams, our under 17 and our under 20, because I think that's where we need to look. This notion of having players from England coming in at the back end of a World Cup qualifying campaign or close to the Gold Cup, we have to stop it. We keep going over and over the same cycle, and it needs to stop. We need to plan better, prepare better, especially for 2026, when the opportunity for us to qualify for the World Cup will be a whole lot easier and a whole lot better, because we will not have to face up against Canada, Mexico and the USA, because there will be 3 host nations, and then CONCACAF will still have 3 other slots to play to qualify for. And so we need to begin to look at the process from now and put the right people in place. And even if this administration is removed, then the people who come in have a system that they can work with. I'm a system person, and I believe that we need to establish proper systems within the footballing fraternity. That way, when people step in, they have a working system, and all they need to do is to add the proper personnel to get the system fired up and going again. Yeah, well, the Euros continues as well. I mean, can't say there are many surprises in the Euros or many upset except the Croatian team. I think a lot of people had a lot of expectations of the Croatian team. I did not, because it's an aging team. They are very old. Luka Modric and these guys, they are old. Their cycle has ended and they have not yet rebuilt. And that is the problem with the Croatian team. So I had low expectations of them, because a team that played France in the World Cup finals, watch this, that France defeated in the World Cup final, it was an aging team. And they have basically carried the same set of players with probably 2 additions to this Euros, expecting that they would advance. It can't work. The group of death, also continues to have its surprises. France won. They defeated Germany, but they end up drawing against Hungary. Portugal, they won 1, they lost 1. Germany defeated Portugal. So it is that group is going to be interesting to see who advances, because France plays Portugal, and if any of those teams lose, they could be out. If Germany wins, they go through. If Hungary wins, they go through. So no one can afford to lose in the final zone matches. England, they're on 4 points, and they could be in a little bit of difficulty. They were held by Scotland, and many people anticipated that England would blow Scotland out of the water. But hey, guess what? You have a coach like Gareth Southgate. Man, you never know. His results are as unpredictable as his selections. And that's the thing with Gareth Southgate. You will never know who Southgate is going to play. Like for this game, he started Luke Shaw and Reece James. And they are very good players. But the game that you won, you played with Kyle Walker and Kieran Trippier. Why did you change them? Why did you change them? I think he just changed them because he felt like making changes. That's it. He felt like making changes, so he just put in 2 new persons. I don't think he manages the game well. I think there are times when the team is crying out for a different way of playing and different personnel, and it takes so long to make his changes, and he refuses to use all 5 substitutions when they have such deep quality on their bench. So Southgate needs to get his act together, or else England will be staying home and not playing at the finals in Wembley, at Wembley. Yep. So they need to decide. Well, West Indies cricket. Where do I begin? Or should I say, has it ended? I cannot understand. I cannot understand the level of immaturity that consistently is displayed by the West Indies team. We are going to lose the second test convincingly, as we lost the first test to South Africa, which means we'll be swept at home. Mark you, 2-0. Why? Because our batsmen fail again and again to apply themselves based on the context of the game. We'll be 3 wickets down, and a player will play the most ridiculous, careless, nonsensical shot and get out. And even if they connected well, it probably would be a run or 2. No thinking. Unbelievable. And for me, I think this is done because they are not being held accountable. Simply put, the next game, the next series against Pakistan, some of these same players will be selected. And I keep telling people that the stakeholders of cricket need to run cricket in terms of its selection and replacement like football. If you, for example, scores on your team and you had several options and it is not seen as a mistake but almost like a careless decision, you do that 2 times in a game, you are not playing in the next game. If you score 2 own goals in a game, I'm not talking about unintentional, intentionally, like careless play. Like a goalkeeper playing around and the ball goes through his leg twice, you're going to be replaced. That's how football is. Cricket is different. A man will play a careless shot and make 5 runs, and next game he plays the same shot to the same kind of delivery. He makes 0. Well, not, because he don't make any. So don't make no runs. And he's selected for the next game, hoping that he will come into form. He plays in that game and he fails again. And he's included again. And we say because there's no one else better to replace him. No, you don't replace him because they are better people. You replace him because he's not applying himself. I don't have to replace you with better. I can replace you with even worse. Because the principle of the thing is you need to be held accountable for your actions of failure and need to take what you're doing more seriously. We batted in 4 innings and not once did we make 200 runs. In Test cricket, On only one occasion, they batted over 50 overs. This is madness. This is not Headley Cup or Grey Shield. This is international cricket. This is the highest level. And this has been happening not for 1 year, 2 years, not for 5, not for 10, for over 15 years we have been having these issues. And what is being done? Nothing. Then you have some players. For example, we have a wicket keeper, good young guy, Joshua Da Silva, in the team, had a few failures, have a little time for him. But he has been failing with the bat recently, because his game still needs to be developed. You have a Nicholas Poran, right? This guy at one time was touted as the one-day captain for the West Indies. He continually plays T20 cricket and one day. Still young in his 20s, and we have not yet found a way to get Nicholas Poran to be playing Test cricket because he wicket keeps and he can't bat. So Joshua Da Silva has no competition for his position. I'm telling you, it is sad. We make people captain and vice captain that if it wasn't for their position of captaincy, they would not warrant a place in the team because they are inconsistent. We need a whole restructuring, a recycling, a renewal, a refreshing of everything concerning West Indies cricket, because we have put up with failure for too long. For too long. All people can speak. There's a generation of kids that were born in the Caribbean, in the West Indies, that have not had a taste of any success in cricket at all from the West Indies. It means that the interest in it is going to decline, and keep on declining. We have a fast bowler in Shannon Gabriel that since I have been watching West Indies cricket and this guy has been playing, every single game I've seen him play, I have seen him play, he has come off the field because of injury and he still continues to play. Something is wrong fundamentally with how we view concept. Shannon Gabriel could not continue like this in any of the other top teams. Not in Australia, certainly. Not in England's team. Not in India's team. Couldn't work. We have tolerated and accommodated mediocrity. And when are we going to be truthful enough to stop it? This is I Am Sure Sports. I'm Omar Stennett. Remember, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. Like, share the video, make a comment. Would love to hear from you. Again, check in the description and you'll see my 23-month squad, Jamaican squad for the Gold Cup. Let me see yours in the comment section. Who did you select? Who have you selected? Who do you replace from my team? Let me see yours. And if you get it right, you could win a prize. Right? If you get it right, if you get all 23 players right, you could win something from I Am Sure Sports. Remember to check us out on Irie Times TV. Every weekend we're there. Check us out on it. Stay safe, live good, love strong, and in everything, give thanks. Always remember, you have to be grateful to continue living in greatness. I am sure.
You're watching IrishTimesTV.com. We bring the Caribbean to you.